Hello and welcome back to the Slide Job Podcast. I am your host, Colton Smith. We're Left Turn Central, here joined by co-host Brandon Bull Davis. No Ben Miller once again, as he is working on this wonderful Thursday night. So it'll be just me and Bull for the Thursdays until he's able to get that cleared up. If he does, hopefully. But Bull, how we feeling this week?
Good, man. Did that live show on Sunday, went back to work this week. Ready to get back and talk some more NASCAR. How about you?
Hasn't been a great week. I'll just put it that way. It really has there's a lot of worse weeks to be had, but it's just one of those weeks where I would be lying if I said it's been a great week, but it's been okay.
I know, I know
We'll
this
put
is a
it that way.
NASCAR. I know this is a NASCAR show. But we do have conference tournaments starting.
Yep.
March
Conference tournaments
Madness.
are coming in, so I have no hope for the Purdue team this year, so I'll at least be going in on that whim. But let's go ahead and keep this a NASCAR show. It will be fun to see that all coming up. But we have a lot to talk about. A lot. Just had a huge bombshell of Alex Bowman not racing the in the Phoenix race this weekend. Anthony Alfredo will go behind the wheel of the 48, which I'm not too surprised. He's been kind of known as the sim driver there for a while. So I'm very curious to see what he does in the 48. I don't know that really there's been a time in his career where Anthony Alfredo has gotten behind the wheel of a car of much speed, and except for maybe another fill-in race for Alex Bowman at some point. So I'm happy for him to see him get the opportunity, but kind of crushed for Bowman and definitely his fan base too. Bowman has been my second favorite driver for a couple of years now, and it's really sucks to see the downward trajectory that's been for the 48. He is out with vertigo. And I say that's just what they called it. There, it could be a little bit different. It's a CTE that he probably is having and experiencing from his concussion. I think just like Kurt Busch, I think Kurt Busch is the only other person to have a concussion under this. So we saw what happened to Kurt Busch. Alex Bowman is going through a lot of the same things. So could be a side effect, could not be. Regardless, vertigo. There's no telling when the vertigo would clear up for him to be able to drive or what that threshold is. So I find it to be a very alarming injury and potentially, or I guess not technically an injury, but you understand what I'm saying. Like a very alarming thing for him to have to go through. And hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he can go get back racing as soon as next week, but also hopefully he makes the safe decision and it can come back when he fully can come back and make a recovery. So Bull, I know you got some hot takes over there, so let's hear it.
Yeah. So, like you mentioned, I do hope he does make a good recovery and comes back safe. I know they are filing for a waiver. Uh, Hendrick did say they're going to file for a waiver. But my thing is, with this new point standings, what does a waiver even do for you? I know you're supposed to race all the races, which I'm guaranteeing NASCAR will grant a waiver. I don't think they've ever denied one, but he's done. I mean, he's done pretty for making the playoffs. You're going to miss at least one race, and it's not like he can go out and win a race later in the year and win his way in. So I don't even know what the waiver is actually going to do. And then one stat that I found interesting is this will be the third season in 5 years that he has had an injury and missed time. In 2022, he had the concussion. 2023, a fractured vertebrae, and now this year the vertigo. I do hate it for Bowman. I do think he's a good race car driver and a good person. It seems like just from what you see in the media, videos you see. But I think, and I hate to say it, only this being the fourth race, but I pretty much think his season is done. I don't think he'll probably be back next week. I've known a few people that have vertigo. I'm not a professional, but that stuff usually takes time to clear up. And then missing all these points is definitely going to hurt him, especially already being 36th in points.
Yeah. absolutely. Like I always want to make that point. Like it's one thing to miss a couple races, but have that cushion of a couple good races run. He has like 20 or so points to his name so far, 3 races into the season. So he was already kind of had an impossible wall ahead of him. And now that's pretty well just officially impossible. So, um, yeah, it's really sad to see. I think Bowman is a driver that has been overhated for a while, but I think it's kind of clouded. Maybe my judgment is clouded by the fact of how good he was before the injuries. Even when he came back from that concussion, he had a outstanding start to the season in 2023 and then had that back injury and has not been the same since that back injury. This year we looked at as maybe the year he could recover from that back injury because Denny Hamlin even mentioned when he had his back injury, it took him a couple years to get back in shape. But now he's having to deal with this vertigo. I just hope Alex Bowman is okay
Which
and hopefully he can get back racing. And
and,
I hope he can come back and somehow earn another year in his ride, but it's looking very grim right now.
and going off of that point, mentioning how good he was in 2024, he should have been in the round of eight. The year that
Oh yeah.
Joey won the championship. If it
Yep.
wasn't for the weight and that Charlotte Roval race, Bowman's in the round of eight, and Joey doesn't even win. And we're
And
looking at all
Bowman
this completely different. He
and
was one of the
Bowman went
hottest
on to
drivers at the time.
have a stellar round of eight. Yeah, that does not very often get talked about. I'm glad you brought that up because the narrative is he just never was as good as his teammates. You look at that 2024 playoff season. Maybe he didn't have the best of regular seasons, but you get into those playoffs. Bowman had flipped the switch, and who's to say he doesn't make the final four there? And I don't know that he would win the race, obviously, but those Penske cars were fast. But I mean, just getting to a final four, I think gets Alex Bowman a different look from the rest of the field. So, um, yeah, it's just such a bummer because I've been rooting for him to prove the haters wrong for so long, and I don't know if it's going to happen here. I'm not saying this is a career ender, but it just looks really grim for Alex Bowman right now. Like I said, I think at the very least, I hope he takes his time, but is able to come back and at least show that he can compete at a level that another team will pick him up. Now, that kind of brings us to who's the replacement? Will Anthony Alfredo be the full replacement? Will we see Rajah Caruth or Corey Day get seat time in the 48 in the coming weeks? What do you think that is? And I do find it kind of interesting because Alex Bowman's career started with a lot of mid to low tier rides, and then he happened to fill in for that of Dale Jr., who spotted his talent, and that's how he got his start at Hendrick Motorsports. It's actually a very likable story if you just don't blindly hate on him, like most of NASCAR Twitter does. And then now we have Anthony Alfredo, who is started most of his career. I can't really think of a time he was like front row is who he ran for in the Cup Series, and then I think he did get a couple of starts, maybe at a top tier like Xfinity or Truck Series team, but has never really been able to piece together a consistent NASCAR career. Now he gets to drive in the 48 and show us what he's got. Do you think he has anything to show off, or like I said, do you think Corey Day or Rajah Caruth may get some seat time as well?
I definitely don't think Corey Day is.
Thank God.
I'll leave it at that. I think it's going to be Alfredo for the time being until Bowman comes back for sure. And I'm definitely excited to see what Alfredo can do. Like you mentioned, this is the first big opportunity that I see that I can remember him having. And it's not a day or two notice. He's got all week to prepare. He's already been practicing in the sim. They're going to have all week to get the car ready for him, how he likes it, get him comfortable in it. So I'm excited to see what he can do. But I do think he is going to stay in that car. Is what I think will happen. I don't think they'll pull Raja up yet, and I definitely don't think they're going to pull Corey Day up yet, especially after he already had to get the Mr. H and Dale Jr. talk.
Yeah. I mean, he fast tracked that, didn't he? When we raced 3, you already got that talk. The thing about Anthony Alfredo is, and I'm looking at his career right now, the best season he's had in Xfinity was his first season, and that's when he was running for Richard Childress. So that's probably the best opportunity he's had. He ran part time, got 2 top 5s and 9 top 10s at the age of 21. But the other thing I'll point out for Alfredo is that he's been patient. He's been Hendrick's sim guy for a good 2 to 3 years, right? Like it feels like he's been there at least. I know he was there last season, so he's kind of sat in the weems, I guess you could say, and now he's getting his opportunity. So I hope he makes the most of it. I hope he's able to, maybe I doubt he ends up getting the 48 full time, but who knows? I mean, nobody really would have saw Alex Bowman taking over the 88, right? Until he showed flashes, if you will, at Phoenix. But had somebody had to say it. But yeah, I hope Anthony Alfredo is able to prove. I don't think he really has any haters, but prove himself in this opportunity. If there's going to be something bright from this, I think that's what we want to have happen. And yeah, but
Yeah,
let's
I totally agree.
let's go ahead and move along. I think I'll go and we can briefly talk about Monster and Hocevar here, the brief mention, because if we want to look at if Alex Bowman is done at Hendrick, an option, we've already kind of talked about Hocevar moving in there, but the big stopgap was, well, Allied's not going to sponsor Carson Hocevar. They might not have to because Monster Energy is looking to back the driver of the 77. It's a rumor. I believe Adam Stern's the one that posted that one. So big sponsor potentially moving to Hocevar from another car. Bull, you have an idea.
So just the thought that I had. Riley Herbst is currently a NASCAR Cup Series driver with a Monster sponsorship. If 2311 loses that Monster sponsorship, that's a huge moneymaker for them. Monster is usually one of the big sponsors. That opens up plenty of opportunity for us to get Heim time in that 35 car. I know he's got some of his own sponsors, but losing Monster, if that's what happens, I don't see them sponsoring four cars, but they might stay with 2311. But if they move to Hocevar, some of that to Hocevar, I could see Heimtime making his Cup Series debut
Full time, you mean?
full time. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think honestly Monster and Hocevar is kind of a match made in heaven. You think about Monster and Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch is at a point in his career nobody really wanted to sponsor him. I mean, Hocevar has his sponsors for sure, Chili's being one of them, but um, that became like a match made in heaven partnership, Kurt Busch and Monster Energy. So I think this is a very good, like, the edgier character was Kurt Busch. Edgier character sure is Carson Hocevar, and Monster Energy brand definitely aligns with that. So I think that's a pretty slam dunk partnership there. And I think it does make things look a little brighter for Hocevar fans getting a ride somewhere else. I think the big concern, and maybe Spire's the place for him. Maybe he does build Spire like he says he is, but sometimes when Mr. H calls, it gets a little hard to say no. So,
See,
yeah,
I can see Hocevar staying with Spire.
I can.
As much as he talks about the owner of Spire, and I can't think of his name right now,
Hmm.
uh, I think that may be Hocevar's only friend that he has. He loves that guy. Every chance he gets, he talks to him about how much trust he has in him,
Hmm.
and uh, him and Hocevar talks. And I can see Hocevar being the loyal guy to stay with him. I know he's got that wild streak in him and would be a perfect fit for Monster, but I can honestly just see him staying at Spire to try to build it up with, and I can't remember his name right now, but he talks about him every chance that he gets.
Hmm. Yeah, that's honestly fair. That's honestly fair. So, curious to see how all of that develops with Monster, of course. But next, let's get to the maybe a dividing portion of this show. Cleetus McFarland is announced that he will be making apparently running multiple races with RCR, but the only one confirmed right now is Rockingham Speedway in April. Tommy Car Wash Express is on the car if you care. I'll go ahead and let Bull start so I can for my rebuttal.
I actually think this is the one we're going to agree on.
Oh, really?
So you can go back on this channel and some of these videos. I was when it was announced that Cleetus was going to make his run, I was all for it. I was a big fan of it. I love it, and I think Cleetus in NASCAR is a good thing. However,
Hmm.
he is not ready for an O'Reilly Series car. If you look back to last year, he raced in the ARCA at Daytona and wrecked in 16 laps. He raced at Charlotte in ARCA and wrecked half the field on a restart. He then raced at Bristol in the ARCA car as well and wrecked. He did manage to get an 18th place finish out of that one, so I'll give him that. This year, he raced the truck at Daytona and wrecked in 6 laps. And he also raced Daytona this year in the ARCA car and finished 11th, 1 lap down. So if that tells you anything about the ARCA field, if you can finish 11th, 1 lap down, that's saying something
At Daytona.
at Daytona. So yeah, I love Cleetus being in NASCAR. I'm a big fan of Cleetus. I watch his YouTube videos, but he does not need to be in an O'Reilly car, especially for RCR, who is known to have the best super speedway cars. Austin Hill and Jesse Love are always up front, and now they're going to put him in that. And the rumor he mentioned Talladega, um, I just don't see it. He even if you watched his latest video when he was trying to get for the Truck Series, get certified to race Daytona for the Truck Series, and that was at Rockingham, and he wrecked the truck then too at Rockingham for his test to get certified to race the truck at Daytona. Um, I I think Cleetus is good for NASCAR, but not right now in the shape that he is in. He's a heck of a driver on YouTube, and he has a heck of a following. Bring those fans to NASCAR, but he's got to get more seat time, more experience before we need to go releasing him in an O'Reilly car at Talladega or Daytona, something like that.
Yeah. I find it completely hypocritical, and it would be very hypocritical of me if I were to sit here and say, like, Cleetus McFarland, he's fine. He should be racing here because this is the same guy who said Ty Gibbs is a lazy bum on his thumbnail last week, right? I'm the same guy who gives Riley Herb shit every time I see him. Same guy who blindly hated on William Sawalich because he was young and he got in here. I'm the same guy on Tony Burringer. But like the same people that hate on it are the same people that are like, oh, come on, guys. Connor Zilic ran 2 to 3 rate. Get out of here. Get out of here. Connor Zilic? You're trying to compare Cleetus McFarland to Connor Zilic to justify you like Cleetus McFarland more than you like Tony Burringer, so you want him in the series. At least Tony's ran a consistent amount of races. He's run twice the amount of races that uh, Cleetus has. Natalie Decker's run twice the amount of races in the national series that Cleetus has. I'm not trying to say they're better than Cleetus or anything like that, but my point is, if one of those two were to get this ride, Natalie Decker, I mean, heaven forbid she got that ride at Daytona. Everyone was up her ass about it, including myself. So I think it's just completely hypocritical for us as a sport to be like, oh, it's fine for Cleetus to run for one of the top teams in the Xfinity series because, he's a cool dude on YouTube. Tony has more followers than he does. Not on YouTube, but across social media. So I don't understand why NASCAR fans just refuse to see, and we'll get to it in the ratings in the next segment. I don't understand why we keep on being so like one sided on every issue. So
I,
I never
I
thought I'd
think
be out here defending Natalie Decker and Tony, but like they at least worked their way through the ranks before, and not that they did it well, but they at least did it. And I just don't think Cletus has done that.
And I will say, Cleetus did mention I did watch or listen to the latest Dell Jr. download that he was on his podcast again this week, and Cleetus did say he is going to buy a late model to go do more short track racing to get more laps. So I
Good.
do love that. I do love that. That's exactly what he needs. He needs more
Mm-hmm.
seat time. All his YouTube videos is driving around doing crazy stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
he's good at that. And I understand why NASCAR wants him to be part of the sport, but he's not ready. His fans and NASCAR fans go hand in hand. A lot of his
Yes.
fans are also NASCAR fans or fans that would love NASCAR.
Hmm.
But he needs it, and I would be okay even in the ARCA series. And I'll be
Yeah.
honest, I even mentioned it on here. I was excited for him in the truck series, and we saw what happened. He wrecked in 6 laps. He even said he didn't know what he was doing. It's
Yeah.
it's totally different racing than what he's used to, what he's ever done, and it's not going to be good.
I want to be clear that, and I don't think you are either. Neither one of us, especially especially myself. I don't want to speak for you. You can confirm it, but I don't think either one of us are rooting against Cleetus. I hope he goes in there and wins the race for all that is holy, right? Like I don't think that's going to happen, but if he did that, I'd be like, great, all right, he proved us wrong. But that's not going to happen, and it's just so hypocritical. But
Correct.
one,
And
go ahead.
and like you said, I love Cletus. I watch his videos, and I was happy for him to be in NASCAR. But the O'Reilly series, going from ARCA racing 3 or 4 races in ARCA, one in truck, straight to a O'Reilly series car, is completely different than what he's ever done before. That's my big thing.
Hmm. Yep. But that's all we can do is sit here and talk about it. So let us know down below in the comments. So what are your guys' thoughts? Again, happy he's getting the opportunity for him, and hopefully he has a great time, and hopefully he doesn't wreck and does well. Not trying to root against him, but I just think it's very hypocritical of me to sit here and be like, if I were to be like, yeah, it's fine. I don't think it's fine. But
But also,
uh,
I'll add, if I got a call from Richard Childers Racing to go run an O'Reilly car, my ass would be headed to Concord, New York right now. So I can't blame him.
yeah, yeah. Again, I'm not trying to blame Cletus on that. Yeah, I'm glad you made that point. We're not trying to blame Cletus, but the situation at hand is just it's a tough one. But let's go ahead and get to our last talking point before we move on to more Phoenix based stuff. The ratings. Fox got a 2.06 rating plus 3.933 million viewers for Sunday's NASCAR race at COTA. That is down from 4.132 million last year. NASCAR did have to compete against huge increases in cable TV news due to the Middle East war, with cable news viewership up 64% over last week during the race. I guess this is what you think we're going to disagree on, and yeah, this will get heated.
I'll let you go first, and I'll come back with the rebuttal.
So the big talking point here is, first of all, NASCAR fans don't believe in competition like a war going on in the Middle East that took 64% of viewership, not from NASCAR, but increase that's already a largely viewed thing is cable news. It went up 64% from what it was last week. So yeah, that took some fans. That took a good 100,000 fans probably right there from NASCAR personally. And then I'll also add Echo Park Speedway was down last week. Were people calling for Echo Park Speedway to be taken off the schedule? Hell no. So why should COTA? I thought COTA was an entertaining race. And if you think about it, Echo Park's down about 200,000 people, I believe. This race is down about 200,000 people from last year. So in the natural scheme of things, we're regressing at the same rate as what we did last year. And with the competition of the gold medal games last year or last week, and like I said, with the war in the Middle East, that had a lot of people's attention. And then the last point that I will make: these ratings don't matter. If we got 3.933 million viewers in June, we would be ecstatic. In July, August, oh my gosh, we were getting nearly six figure viewership in the playoffs last year. This is nothing. when we get to the playoffs, if we have an increase in viewership, if it's 1.5 million, that's an increase on most playoff races last year. So I think at the end of the day, these ratings don't mean shit. Call me back in June or July when it's Pocono. If Pocono's got an up in viewership, we're looking good as a sport. I had to figure out a way to get Pocono in 2 episodes in a row. All right, Bull. Let's hear the rebuttal.
So we we talked last week about Echo Park Speedway ratings being down. The ratings are down this week for COTA. I don't think the war had anything to do with the ratings for NASCAR.
Really? So you don't go ahead.
I don't think the NASCAR fans are turning off the race and watching the news, watching that. I think the ratings got really high up for Daytona, and they lost the momentum for Echo Park Speedway. And then we go to a road course at COTA that I personally thought was a terrible race. And I think that is why the ratings are down. The product was not what they turned into, what the fans tuned into and watched at Daytona. That is why I think the ratings were down, is because we went to COTA. If we want to keep the viewership that we had from Daytona, COTA cannot be the third race of the season. I personally don't even like going to COTA at all. And I'm not even saying I don't think it needs to be a road course right there.
I I think the statement personally, and I say this with love, I think the statement that NASCAR fans did not tune into the cable news is just a buffoonery statement. That's some blasphemy. Because like think about how many fans there are. There was a good amount that switched the channel to tune into the cable news and figure out what's going on. Where did that 64% increase come from?
But you also, Colton, you also got to think there's other ways that people are watching the news instead of just cable TV. You have most people have their phones, so yeah, the fans may have been looking at the news, but they also had the race on, which is still counting as views. So they may have been watching the
That's
news,
fair.
checking the news on their phone, or they had the race on their phone. That's where I'm at with it. I didn't mean like they're not watching the news, but there's more ways to catch the news now than just on cable television. You
That's
have,
fair.
people have laptops, watching it on iPads, phones, stuff like that. And how many times? I mean, I know we mentioned it earlier with March Madness. How many times have you had 3 or 4 games going on 3 or 4 different devices?
No, you're right. You're right on that one. But okay, to your point on Dakota race being a bad race, I don't know where that comes from
I even
because
said that Sunday
you
on
did.
the live show.
You did. I just think I think that's just the inner hatred like most NASCAR fans have of turning left or turning right. And that's fair. That's fair. That's okay.
It, I think I just don't like COTA. I'm really excited for San Diego. Like I like Sonoma. I don't know. It's something about COTA. It's the design of the track. It's made for F1 cars. It's not made for Cup cars. I There's just something about that track that I'm not a fan of. I'm not even a hater for full road courses or for a couple road courses in the season, but it's that track in particular. And I think the momentum that we had from Daytona, we lost a little bit for Echo Park, and then now COTA. The excitement that you had for Daytona did not carry over, and I think part of the reason why is because it went to a road course. It's just not that same
But
thrill and
but
excitement.
Echo Park's not a road course. Echo Park had the same drop that just maybe a slightly less drop than that of COTA. So why doesn't Echo Park get any blame for this? Because naturally, if Echo Park's down, COTA's going to be down, right? It's a
Correct.
natural
I
it's a
I get your
natural
point there.
progression. So we could talk in circles about this for a while. I have a feeling we got to just agree to disagree. But I think I like I said to wrap it up. I don't give a shit about these ratings. These ratings are whatever to me because we know there's about a million fans that are really core fans that'll tune in to every race, all 36 of them, because that's what we had when the NFL took over and late in the later portion of the season. Sorry, so I think what really will come down to it is when we get there. I'm not worried about these ratings. I think they are what they are because we have right now we have about what 3 million people watching that aren't typically tuned in come June or July. Can we get them to stick around, or can we at least get a portion of them to stick around for those portions of the seasons? And really, it's August. I don't know why I keep on saying June or July. It's August, September when we really see those ratings dip. So I think
Like when
that's
we
good.
when we get to that Nashville, Michigan, Pocono stretch in the
True.
summer, that'll be if we're still having 3 million people watching, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The momentum's great. Like I think that's what we really need to be looking for. I see your point because even myself, I'm not COTA's biggest fan, believe it or not, but I think it's a great facility. I think it's a great market in Austin. I think it's more entertaining than Texas had been for a while. I know recently Texas has been a little more entertaining, but I think when COTA first came, I was very happy to see that Texas State go away. So I think it's good for the sport, but I understand that it's not everyone's cup of tea. But I was very entertained watching Ryan Blaney try to track down Tyler Reddick. I was very entertained watching SVG trying to track down Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick just had the best car in the field. Additionally, if you go back to last year, I thought last year's finish was very entertaining. Bull, you know better than anybody. I don't even have to tell you. Like, not every race is going to be nonstop fun. So I know that's not why you don't like this race, but um, yeah, that's that's the first big argument, Bull. I think it's the first time we've had a big argument, so I'm happy. We're on the other side of it now, and we'll circle back to this when we're at COTA next year, maybe. But let's go ahead and move along to fly the flag. Oh, huh. First fly the flag. What might that be? NASCAR should move on from COTA. Red flag. Like I said, it is an outstanding facility. It is, almost a world class. One could say it is. Also, I think they had upper improvement in people that showed up to the track that weekend. I maybe misread that. Maybe I was looking at St. Pete, but I think at least one of the two saw like a big uptick in their fans on track for the weekend. So either way, I think that's good for racing for sure. But great facilities. I think it does produce the second or third best road course racing out of what we got 4 or 5 now. But I think it produces entertaining enough racing for the road course fan. I would agree. Maybe not race 3. Maybe we push it back to a summerish race. And I remember thinking that when they put it there in the first place, but it does make for that nice little West Coast swing. So I'm not fully against that. But maybe put it at the end of the West Coast swing. Like, let's go to Las Vegas, Phoenix, and then COTA, something like that. I would definitely be behind that. And I see that point of it. So red flag, keep NASCAR, keep going to COTA. Get rid of Sonoma first.
I'm going to go green flag. You,
Shocking.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna agree with you on a few things. It is a very nice facility. It is top notch, but the track is designed for F1 cars. We don't even run the full course at COTA. That's another thing. We had to stop running the full course because it was such bad racing. So now we run a shortened course at COTA. I I'm not a big fan. I'm just not a big fan of the track. It is top notch facilities. It is a nice racetrack, but not for Cup Series cars.
That's fair. That's fair. Next up, Cleetus McFarland should not be allowed to run in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. I go yellow flag, like leaning towards red. Like, I think it's a free country. If he wants to run in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series and he has the money to do so, so be it. But I think the precedent that it sets is just distasteful to me. but that's just me.
I'm actually going to go green flag again. One of NASCAR's big things is safety, and now we're going to throw a guy out there in an O'Reilly car that's raced 5 ARCA Series races in his career and 1 Truck Series race, and he's only finished one of them.
And not like an exuberant amount of late model or dirt track starts, right? Like it's not
No,
like he grew up racing.
he
He grew up around cars, sure, but not necessarily racing.
correct. So I'm going to go green flag. I hate to say it, but he's not ready. He needs more experience before we throw him in an O'Reilly car. So
Fair enough. And then lastly, Tyler Reddick will win his first race in a row, or first race in a row, fourth race in a row at Phoenix.
I'm going to go yellow flag just because he's got the momentum. He has nothing to lose now. He could go out there and win any race. Do I think he's going to win? Am I going to pick him to win? No. But nothing beats momentum, and he has nothing to lose. He can make weird, crazy strategy calls to go for the win. So you never know what could happen. I'm going to go yellow flag.
I'm going red flag. Ben mentioned it in the show on Sunday. Like we Tyler Reddick doesn't have a very good short track record for whatever reason in the Cup Series, and Phoenix has been no exception. He's made two Final Fours, two, maybe just one, but I know definitely one, obviously, and it has not run very well in those Final Fours. Um, and just it's never short tracks have not been his thing. It's weird because he's a short track guy. He did win the dirt race. I do have to. Or did he win it or was he dumped? I think
He
he
was
dumped
dumped by Chase
Briscoe.
Briscoe.
Okay, he dumped.
Briscoe dumped
Yeah,
Reddick.
Briscoe dumped Reddick. That's right. Okay, my bad. Misremembered that. But I remember him having a good run there, and I'm sure he's got a couple through there. But for whatever reason, he hasn't been able to crack the Cup car and short tracks in his career yet. What better time than now for him to crack the code than this weekend? And I'm not trying to doubt the talent, but I just see the weakness, and I think he runs well. Maybe he could lead some laps, but I don't think he gets the job done. And we see his streak come to a crashing end this weekend. Uh, but
It's
that
hard
brings
to
us
beat.
to
It's hard to beat momentum.
it is very hard to beat momentum. That's a great point. But
And
an
MJ is
interesting.
going to be there.
I forgot about that. Never mind. Green flag. I'm just playing, but moving on to our Fast Five, I want to preface this with an interesting little note I noticed right before the show. NASCAR Cup Series teams will be using the same Goodyear racing tire that we had at the championship race back at November. This was a very soft tire, to say the least, that uh, burned. It was the option tire for the spring race last year. They then went away with option tires and just made the option tire, which was a softer compound, the main tire for the championship. And, well, we know what happened, don't we, Bull?
Don't remind
Not
me.
good things. Every championship four driver, amongst other handful of drivers throughout the field, blew their tire. It was mostly the championship four drivers, though, when I think of it, because Chase Briscoe did it like twice. It seemed I know Byron did it was the last one to do it. Larson had done it before. So like maybe that was mostly the championship four drivers trying to get every last bit out of their tires, but I feel like Hocevar had one and maybe there was a couple more. So I think it's an interesting move. I kind of wanted them I was hoping that it wouldn't scare them from making these softer compound tires that are making for more interesting racing where you have to manage your tires, especially with the higher horsepower. But I worry, is it going to be a repeat of the championship? Well, I want to hear your thoughts on this.
I actually love the decision by NASCAR. They
Okay.
saw they saw what it done last year in the championship race. Yes, it caused Denny not to win the championship, but it made for better racing. I thought it actually had tire wear. That's what we've all been asking for.
Yep.
And usually in a couple years past, NASCAR would have went away from it because they saw the tire wear, but they're sticking with it. So I'm happy to see it. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out in for the spring race. But like I said, I'm happy for the decision. that they're actually sticking with the soft tire.
I agree. I agree. I'm just like cautiously optimistic about it, right? Like I want it to work out well. I want them to go with more softer tires, but also there's a lot of drivers in the field that don't even know what that means in terms of saving tires. So I just worry because that could make for a caution-filled race ahead of us this weekend. So but without further ado, I'll throw it back to you for our Fast Fives. I will go ahead and give a warning. I will be MIA this Sunday, so I will not be able to even watch the race. I'll probably watch it on record or something like that, but I won't be able to make our stream. Just got work that day. So you'll be in good hands with Bull and Ben. Don't know why another name came in my head, but yeah. But I'll let you give it away, and let's hear it.
So for our Fast Five, if you've been watching, you get points for the top 20. We take the drivers, we put them in 5 groups, and we do a snake style draft and pick one from each group. Last week at COTA, Ben spanked our ass.
As he
Ben
does.
scored 39 points. Colton scored 25, and I scored 19. So for this week, I will get to pick where I want to draft first, then Colton, then Ben, since scoring the least amount of points. And I'm going to take the first pick.
Smart.
For round one, we have Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick, Chase Briscoe, and Joey Logano. And with the first pick, I am taking William Byron.
Oh, okay.
A little curveball for you.
Little curveball indeed. I like that pick though. William Byron's been good at Phoenix throughout his career, except in the championship race. And maybe yeah, I was thinking I was going with William Byron, so now I got to rethink here. Um, I don't think I have to think very hard. I'm gonna go with Ryan Blaney. He is really good at this track. If y'all haven't noticed, he had the best average finish. I think he still does have the best average finish to this day. His like only non like top 5 or top 3 finish was like a DNF. It was Engine Blue last spring. So it's a track that's typically hard to pass, and he typically has the car that is very good at passing. So I'll go ahead and take Ryan Blaney here. And then Christopher Bell will be the selection for Ben in the third spot. That then gives it back to Ben for the second round, which has Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch, Josh Berry, Carson Hocevar, and Connor Zillage. Ben went with Carson Hocevar in the 77. I find that interesting. I find that pretty interesting, especially considering Hocevar's average finish is 23.2. I guess he's just feeling that dente. But
But if you've been watching this long enough, you know Ben's got a golden horseshoe shoved
yeah,
so far up his ass. Hocevar is going to find some way to get a top 5.
absolutely. And the thing is with Ben is he doesn't look at the average finishes very much. I don't know what the hell he looks at. I guess his golden horseshoe. He's just got the numbers on there. And his first pick was Blaney in the first round, but Hocevar was his first pick in the second round. So um, I'm very curious how that plays out. What he knows, what he knows. For me, I'm gonna go with Ross Chastain, the guy
Damn
who
it.
won this race and the championship. What 2 years ago when Blaney won, or 3 years ago now? This is a really good track for him, very consistently a good track for him. He has an average finish of 12.3, which is the ninth best. So that's with some retired guys up there. Yeah, give me Ross Chastain to get the job done, or yeah, that's not the win, but get a good finish. And then yeah, Bull, who do you got?
So I'm going to take a swing at you.
Yeah,
Uh, I'm going to take your favorite driver and give me Chase Elliott. I'm going to load up on HMS this week, and we're going for it. So that'll take us to round 3. where we have Bubba Wallace, Ryan Preece, Austin Cindric. We did have Alex Bowman. When I updated this, he was still in, and um, Alfredo had not been added yet. So Austin Dillon, Ty Gibbs, and Eric Jones. I'm gonna make an executive decision. If you want Pasta Man, we'll just sub him in there for Alex Bowman.
It's
Uh,
okay.
but but I am not gonna take either one of them. And give me the guy running second in points currently. Give me Mr. Bubba Wallace.
Yeah, I who could have saw that one coming? That's a good pick though. And then that brings it back to me. I'm gonna go with the guy who started his man crush flash, if you will, for Josh at this very track. Ryan Preece. I remember him on this option tire making a run through the field. Short tracks are his thing. I'm going to rock with Ryan Preece this week. That brings it back to Ben. He has his first pick actually was none other than Ty Gibbs, the lazy bum. Uh,
I don't, either we're missing something or Ben's missing something because he's got his first pick last 2 rounds.
Ty Gibbs' average finish at this track is 23rd. So
And
I can't wait for all these guys to finish in the top 10, and there may be a hole in this very
uh,
wall right here.
you all may want to tune in Sunday because looking at round 4, Ben's about to get his first pick in round 4, and if this guy gets a top 10, you're definitely
Oh,
going to want to tune in Sunday
I'll
because
have to tune in
I've got
from
to
work.
I've got to figure out what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So bringing us to round 4. Let us know in the comments section if you guess who Ben put before I reveal it. But we have Daniel Suarez, Michael McDowell, Shane Van Gisbergen, Noah Gregson, Zane Smith, Todd Gilland, and AJ Allmendinger. The Benster with his first pick wanted SVG. That's right. He's got Shane Van Gisbergen, currently fifth in the point standings, keeping up his momentum and getting the top 20 at least, I suppose. So there's SVG off the board. And then that leaves me. There's a multitude of ways I want to go with this one. I think I'm going to go with the guy who also has had a pretty decent start. Just like you said, momentum's unstoppable, right? Give me Daniel Suarez. He's currently seventh in the point standings, I believe. Would have had a much better finish at COTA if not some outside factors. And I do remember him actually having a good run in this race before I think either a tire blew or he just got caught up in something out of his control. So give me Suarez running fast, keeping it going in his new number 7 car.
So this is going to surprise a lot of people with this pick I'm about to make,
Oh, I see what
and
it's covering, and that's a good pick. That's a good pick.
he has actually been surprisingly well at Phoenix. Give me the 4 car of Noah Gragson this week. He's actually had surprisingly good results out of this group. He actually has the second best average finish out of round 4. So you you got my first guy that I wanted. So I'm going to roll with my second and take Noah Gragson,
Yeah,
and that'll
that's a great pick.
take us to round 5, where we start off with Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Austin Hill, John Hunter Nemechek, Cole Custer, Ty Dillon, Riley Herbst, and Flashman himself, Cody Ware. And I got to give a shout out to Ty Dillon here with 3. I know we're only 3 races in, but has a lowest finish of 16th this year. That is his worst finish on the season. I know, like I said, I know we're only 3 races in, but in Fast Five, that's getting points every week. However,
However,
however, I can't pick him this week. Give me Cole Custer.
oh, thank God. And why Cole Custer though? I must ask. I saw the vision with Noah Grayson. I don't know if I see it with Cole Custer.
I'll be honest.
Did he show you some flashes?
He the only thing he's showing flashes to is the buffet.
Hey, I guess that was enough. That was enough for Bull because he picked.
Because I'm right there on his heels.
So that leaves the guy I had circled, and I was just literally probably going to like flip a coin or spin a wheel for after if he got picked. But yeah, give me John Hunter Nemechek here. I think he's not necessarily somebody who's shown much at this track, but I think when you compare it, Austin Hill's the only other one I would think of because just the equipment he's in. But I think John Hunter Nemechek's going to flip the script on this rounding and has him in the 5th round and give me a nice top 20. So I think that's like the 3rd week I've had John Hunter Nemechek. I know this is the 1st week without Chase Elliott this season, so yeah. And I like how my team shaped up, I must say.
And I will also add, this is Ben's first pick again that he is going to get. And he is going to get Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as his first pick. So he has got his first pick in rounds 2, 3, 4, and 5, and his second pick that he wanted in round 1.
I'm kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie. I'm scared for what he's cooking up. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. has an average finish of so good that it's not even showing up on the leaderboard here. I don't know where he's at. Oh, 22nd. Not bad. Better than John Nemechek. He has a 25th place average finish. So, yeah, I'm kind of scared for what Mr. Miller's cooking up over there. Like that, he always seems to be 1 or 2 steps ahead of us, Bull, and that's how he was last season. If y'all watched last season, you know damn well Mr. Miller was always a step or 2 ahead of me and Josh. So, is this the week he's outplayed himself, or we about to have a Christopher Bell win with a Carson Hocevar, Ty Gibbs top 10, Shane Van Gisbergen top 15, and a Ricky Stenhouse top 20? I think that's what we're about to see. Bull dropped out for a second. Welcome back, Bull. Yeah, it's getting scary here in the Fast Five.
It's that golden horseshoe. For our Fast Five, for bonus points, we pick an O'Reilly and a Truck Series winner if there is the race. For this week, there's only an O'Reilly Series race. So Ben is taking William Byron to get for his winner pick for the O'Reilly Series. Colton?
I'll go ahead. You said William Byron's in this race?
William Byron.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just go with William Byron. I feel like maybe he gets the sweep this weekend at Phoenix. Who knows? Give me Willie B. Pretty safe pick going with the Cup guy.
Well, so at Daytona, you all picked Austin Hill, and I picked Jesse Love, his teammate, and it bit me in the ass. At Atlanta, you all picked Austin Hill, and I picked Jesse Love.
We both got bit in the ass on that one.
We both got bit in the ass. I'm not going to pick Byron. Give me the 7 car of Justin Allgaier.
Oh, if somebody knows how to wheel around this track, it's Justin Allgaier. I ain't arguing with you on that one. That's a good point.
If you get the winner correct for this, you do get 10 bonus points added to your score. So currently, Ben is in the lead for our total points of 120. Colton has 118, and I'm pretty far back with 82. So I got to take some swings already, see if I can't catch back up. Still got a long way to go, but we got them right where we want them.
Yeah, for sure. But now we go into our Cup Series picks. I don't really have a clear favorite, to be honest, but I'm going to go with the guy won here last fall and say Kyle Larson, even though I didn't pick him early on. And it doesn't give me any extra bonus points, but that's a winner pick. I think it's a boom or bust with him, but I think he needs to reaffirm that he's the best driver in the Cup Series because Tyler Reddick might be making that ascension right now. So give me Larson.
Oh, and I'll go ahead and say Ben is taking Ryan Blaney. And I am down to two guys, but I wanted to pick Ryan Blaney, and something told me I decided to take William Byron. I think the winner is going to be either Byron or Blaney, but give me Byron just because I picked him in round one with the very first pick. So give me William Byron.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That was an action-packed episode of the Slide Job podcast. I do hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, hit the subscribe button, comment down below your guys' thoughts. Whose side are you on in the COTA battle? I'll probably post that as a separate video. That was some good back and forth there. Who do you think is going to win the Fast Five? Is Ben cooking right now? Did Ben cook? Like, let us know. I'll have the teams loaded up there. Let us know who cooked. And yeah, be sure to follow Bull underscore 81818, me at LFC underscore 99. Follow the Slide Job podcast at Slide Job X. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.